One love to the humble. One love to the humble. One love to the humble. How y'all doing out there today? Hope y'all doing well. Hope y'all doing well today. Um, I'm gonna get right into it. No time wasted. Uh, Black people fight hard to be victims. Black people fight extremely hard to be victims. Extremely hard. When you really think about it, when you really look at it, black people fight extremely hard to be victims. I mean, I don't care what scenario you place, they're gonna find a way to be victims. Well, why are you saying they? Why are you saying they? In another video, I heard you saying us. Well, sometimes I might interchange it. It's interchangeable, right? But really, right now, this is a situation where I say they because I am not like that. I'm not gonna find. I'm not gonna fight to be a victim. I'm not fighting for that. I'm not fighting to be a victim because I'm not a victim. I'm not a victim. But look, this ain't about me. I can get into me a little bit later on. But look, black people fight extremely hard to be victims. I don't care what the scenario is. I don't care how it's in their favor. I don't care what. They're gonna find a way to be a victim every single time. If a white cop pulls over a black person and they have to get a ticket or something goes wrong, they're gonna be saying that they only got pulled over because they were black. This only happened to them because they were black, as if nothing else happens to anybody else. It just only happened to black people. That's fighting for your victimhood. If you got pulled over by a cop and you got a ticket, that cop didn't pull you because you were black. They pulled you because you were speeding. Now, if you go into a neighborhood that's known to be, like have drug activity, have a lot of negative stuff going on. I don't care if it's a white community, I don't care if it's a black community or a white neighborhood or a black neighborhood. If you go into that neighborhood late hours of the night and there's drug activity going on, they're gonna pull you most likely when you come out of that neighborhood at night because it's known that during those late night hours that bad things are happening, drug activity is going on. That's a true thing. I give you an example. I was in the army. I come home on leave from the army. I got friends back in the day. I got friends that still stay in the same neighborhoods that they grew up in. So I had a friend of mine. I was dropping him off back at home. He stayed in a rough neighborhood, pretty rough neighborhood. So I go to drop him off, and on my way out of the neighborhood, I get pulled over by the cops. I didn't do anything wrong other than, if you want to say wrong is being in that neighborhood, but I didn't do anything wrong. Like, I wasn't speeding, I wasn't doing anything wrong, I wasn't drinking, I wasn't doing any drugs. So, but when I pulled out of the neighborhood, he was right on me, pulled me over. Now, you could call it a illegal stop or whatever kind of excuse you can make, right? You can make that argument. But the thing of it is, that neighborhood was a bad neighborhood. They never seen me before. I'm new in that neighborhood, and I'm dropping somebody off in that neighborhood. So they suspected that maybe I could be somebody dealing with drugs. But anyway, he checked me out. I didn't give him a hard time. I didn't fuss. I didn't fight. I didn't argue. I didn't do all this crazy stuff that people do. He just told me I was pretty respectful. He was respectful to me. And then he was like, all right, look, you in the military. Because he asked me a lot of questions, and that's how he found out. He was like, well, you in the military, you need to stay away from these areas. Don't come back around here because you're in the military, blah, blah, blah. And you know what? I never went back. When I came home, I never went back to that neighborhood. But see, had there been certain black people, we ready to fuss, fight, argue, I know my rights, I ain't gonna do this, I ain't gonna do that, whatever. It's okay. But what you gotta realize is there's consequences to your actions. For every action, there's a consequence. So if you choose to want to challenge a cop and you challenge him right there on the spot, You lose every time. If you want to challenge a cop, you don't challenge him right there doing his job. You challenge him in the courtroom. That's the only way you're gonna win. Now you trying to challenge that cop right there because you think you know some law, and you want to show that you tough guy, and you smarter than the cop and all that. What you got to prove? If you haven't done anything wrong, there's nothing to fight. There is no reason to give a hard time. But black people have got to be a victim some kind of way. We got to find a way to be a victim in those type of scenarios because black people are entitled. Black people are very entitled, and they've been told all along that it's not their fault. So when you tell a person all the time that it's not their fault, they're gonna say that they're a victim. You go fill out a job application, you don't get the job. First thing people say is, "Oh, I didn't get the job because I was black." No, you didn't get the job because you didn't qualify for the job. That's once again trying to find a way to become a victim. I mean, it's just so many different examples of this. And I think as black people, we have to stop being a victim. You're not going to get anywhere in life being a victim all the time. Sometimes you just got to take responsibility for your actions, for your choices. You got to be responsible, man. You made a mistake. You was wrong. It's okay to admit that you was wrong. You don't always have to find a reason to become a victim. You know, all the stuff you see people doing, getting into it with the cops, resisting arrest, you know, all that stuff is ridiculous because in the end, you're just going to lose. You lose because you get more charges, you get all these things. Then you go to court and say, well, I got this much time and the white guy got this much time. Well, there's a lot more to go into giving out time than just simply skin color or race. See, what you don't realize is they also go by your past criminal history. What type of crimes have you committed? All those things go into play. If I go in the courtroom right now, I don't have a criminal record. If I go in there right now, I won't get charged. If I do, depending upon the crime I do, my charges would be what my punishment is would be a lot less than it would be had I have a long criminal record. Now, if I got a long history of criminal activity, and then I get caught for this, I'm gonna get a lot of time, even if that crime that I just committed may not be as bad. But they're gonna still give me time because of my history. I have a track record of getting in trouble. You can't just keep making a long track record and thinking that you're not gonna serve no time. And if you go against somebody who don't have as much crime on their record as you, then they're gonna get less time to you. You're not a victim. You're not a victim. You got a long track record of criminal activity or getting charged with crime. So you're gonna get a longer sentence. Even if you committed the same crime as someone else, you're not a victim. You're not a victim. Another thing that people don't think about in court, when people go to court and they say, well, this person got this much time and this person didn't. They did the same crime. The black guy got this much time, the white guy got this much time. Well, the white guy can most likely afford a lawyer, a decent or a great lawyer. Black people can't afford no lawyers. The ones who commit the crimes can't even afford lawyers. So they're getting these court-appointed lawyers who got 1,000 cases that they got to look at. You think they're going to be able to put all their efforts into your case? They don't got enough time. It's just one person. And they load them up with cases because most black people that end up in court can't afford a lawyer. So if you can't afford a lawyer versus the white guy who did the same crime as you can afford a lawyer, then what do you think is going to happen? They're going to be able to get that person probably less time. This person over here who don't have no lawyer or got a court-appointed lawyer is going to probably get maxed out. You're not a victim. If you're going to be out here committing crimes, you need to have money put away for lawyers. You need to have money put up for that for when you get caught to be able to defend yourself. Don't be committing crimes out here without no lawyers. I'm not anybody that's smart in the legal field or anything. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not none of that. I'm not giving you no law advice. I'm just saying that's just a common sense thing. You committing crimes, but you can't afford lawyers. But then when you go to court, you don't understand why this person got more time than this person got. It's simple. It's not because you are a victim. It's because you couldn't handle you couldn't go through the steps and processes that's necessary to ensure that you can be taken care of when you get caught. You're gonna get caught. And then you look at the fact of who's the most violent race of people right now, and black people leading the way in that. It's not because we are victims; it's because we're actually doing these things. We're getting ourselves in these situations, but we think it's all about we just only happening to us because we're black. It's not because we're black; because we actually doing this stuff. We live to be permanent victims. We fight hard for victimhood. We go to these universities. They got all these black universities you can go to and attend. All these black colleges that you can attend. But yet, you don't do that. We don't go to the black colleges. We don't go to the HBCUs. Well, I'm not saying we don't. We do. People do. A lot of us do go. But I'm talking about the ones that want to go to the predominantly white institutions. But then when they get there, they want to change how the predominantly white institution operates. That makes no sense. That's victimhood. You get to a predominantly white school, that means there's gonna be more white people there than black. But yet, you want to change the rules at the school. You want to go there and protesting. You a victim. You don't have this space and all this stuff people be saying. For what? You got an HBCU right there. Why you don't go over there to the HBCU? But you gonna go to the PWI or predominantly white institution and try to change what they do and how they do things. Do that make any kind of sense? I mean, let's be for real. That really makes sense to you? That makes sense. Go to a permanent white, go to a predominantly white institution, and now you're a victim because you chose to go there. And you're still a victim. You went to their institution and you want to change how their culture and how they do things at their culture, but you didn't have to worry about any of that. You could have went to an HBCU and it would have been all black people there, with people that understand you, know you, and understand how you move. But you didn't want to do that. You had to go over here, and then you're gonna get over there and try to change the whole culture because you were a victim and you get mistreated and all these things. You're not getting mistreated. You're not a victim. It's just this is the culture. You have to fit in with the culture or leave. Because when you know, right now, I got two daughters that were the HBCUs, right? Two. And at the HBCU, there's white professors, there's white students, there's all kind of racist students at these HBCUs. You don't ever hear them talking about changing the culture. They go jump right in the culture and just intertwine into the culture and graduate. They don't go there saying, "Oh, I need this space. I need all this space. I need all this union. I need all that. I need this. I need that." They don't do that over there. They go over there, immerse themselves in the culture, graduate with their degree, and get on about their business. They not being a victim. They not nothing. They joining a marching band. They being drum majors. They getting out there on the field, dancing and doing everything, getting immersed in the culture. But when we go to their schools, we don't emerge in the culture. We want to change the culture. We victims. We all these things. They let you in on affirmative action because you probably didn't even qualify off the rip to get in there. But they lower the standards so you can get in. Black people fight hard to be victims. I mean, very hard to be victims. You get on the job, oh, they promoted them because they white and they won't promote me. That's all lies. Most of the time, you don't qualify, and you know how we are on jobs. You know how we do it on the job. We talking trash all day. We ain't working hard. We want to take breaks. We don't want to come in. We giving everybody attitude. And then we say, well, why ain't you promoted? Who gonna promote you? Who gonna give you a raise? with that attitude that we have. Like we own this place. Somebody give you a job, help you take care of yourself, and you're just negative about everything. Some of us ain't like that. Some of us do our job. Some of us come in there and work hard. But you know what I'm talking about. Because it ain't the good ones. The ones that do crazy stuff makes it bad for everybody else. Because we fight hard to be victims. We fight extremely hard for victimhood. You can put us in the ideal situation and we'll find a way to turn it into us being a victim. We ain't doing anything wrong. We are owed everything. It's everybody else and not us. If you don't think something wrong with that, I don't know what to tell you. We have to stop fighting for victimhood. Take responsibility for your actions. Take charge of your life. It's no one else's fault. You live in the United States of America, the place that everybody all over the world is fighting to get to. That because of what you can become here is bigger than what you can become anywhere else in the world. There's nowhere else in the world that you can go and be able to have the access to do the things you can do in the United States. And I know a lot of people don't know that. I done been to a lot of places outside the United States. And I've seen how it is. You can't do that nowhere else, what we do here. Man, if you try that, what we do here somewhere else, they probably take your life or lock you up for a very long time. It's not like that everywhere. What we doing here, you will never see this nowhere else. Talking crap like we do here about the government, about all the things that we do here. You got the freedom to do that here. Try that somewhere else and see what happens to you. It probably ain't gonna be as easy or as nice as what goes on here. You can start a business here. You can invest here. You can become a millionaire here. You can be whatever you want. If you want whatever you want to do and build, you can build it. You don't have to become. You don't have to be a victim. You can be and build whatever you want right here in this country. But see, privilege is blind to those who have it. The people here, especially us as black people, we can't see it. All we talk about is something negative. But those of us who understand it, look what they're accomplishing. Look what them black folks that understand what they have and what they got. Look what they're accomplishing. Look where they at. Look how they living. Because they understand that it's not about victimhood. You can be what you want to be. You can build the biggest business that you want to build. You can do whatever you want. You can't be stopped. No one can be stopped. Everybody has the same opportunities to be what they want to be and build what they want to build if they know how. And if they don't know how, they need to go and ask somebody that do know how, and somebody will show them the way. But that ain't gonna happen because you're listening to the wrong people that's always guiding you back down in the hole. And you wonder why you can't come up. Well, you're never gonna come up if you're a victim and you think everybody's out to get you. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy at some point. Take your head out the sand and look around. The opportunity is there for you to become whatever you want to become. You just got to take charge of your life. Stop blaming everybody else. Be responsible for you, and you can make a change for yourself. But as long as you want to stay a victim, then that's the results you're gonna get, and the results are gonna always be at the bottom. Y'all take care.